another video. So this video is on the Kyocera Hydro Life from T-Mobile. So I have the brightness turned down so you can kind of see the icons. I make it a little bit clearer on camera here, but I'll crank the brightness up just to show you how bright it can get. You see, it can get pretty bright, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to turn it down so you can get a nice clear picture there. So let's start off with some things that I dislike about the phone, and there are three things. The first thing is the battery, of course. I'm used to a phone, most of the phones that I have, and I have budget-minded phones like the one I'm recording with, which is the Nokia Lumia 635. The Nokia Lumia 635 can last me at least 2 days with heavy use, and then also if I don't use it much at all, it can go at least 4 to 5 days on the same charge with sync and everything enabled. With Android, like most Android phones, you're lucky to get 4 hours of screen on time and a day, or at least 12 hours without charging. And you know, unfortunately, this phone is no exception. It's a good phone, but you know, Android is just not optimized correctly, I'm gonna say. And with that, you know, you end up getting sucky battery. This is a 2000 milliamp battery, which is really good. Now, I say that I'm at 44% and just over 10 hours, but the screen on time is only 2 hours and 24 minutes. So, you know, like most, I didn't expect this to have just fantastic battery life, but I thought it would be a little nice. So that's that. I mean, it's 2 hours screen on time for this type of device is pretty good. I just wish the battery would have been like a 3000 milliamp battery, and then it could have rounded the device out a lot better. Nonetheless, in the end, in the next 40%, I've got the economy mode and everything will kick in. So I should get at least 4 hours or 3.5 hours of screen on time, between 3 and 4, which by today's standards for most Android phones, that's actually pretty good, because I don't think Android is optimized very well compared to Windows and iOS. It's just not. It is what it is, especially BlackBerry. It's not optimized like all the other operating systems, but it's a great operating system, and I'll give it that. So the next thing that I kind of dislike is the cameras. The cameras on here are not the best. They're on an IPS certified device, and most cases, you know, there's some drawbacks. And so this is basically the icon, the Kyocera Hydro icon from Boost Mobile, but that one comes with wireless charging and an 8 megapixel camera, you know, things like that. But also, you know, I think that one has a dual core. So there's some drawbacks on both sides. But nonetheless, the camera is, you know, it's okay. It doesn't take the best pictures, but it's in low lighting, you know, it has flash, but it still doesn't take the greatest pictures. But outside in the broad daylight, oh yeah, the pictures look fantastic. Like most cell phones, the pictures look good. They're not very grainy at all. They come across really nice. It's a 5 megapixel on the back and a 2 on the front. And you know, that's, you know, they'll get the job done for the picture that you need for your social media or things like that. But you know, it's not going to replace your high-end camera. It's just not going to do it. So I had 3 things I wanted to tell you about that I kind of disliked. The next one, that was battery, and that was camera. The next one is the speaker quality on here. So with this being an IPS certified device, the internals here are covered, and I'm going to show you. So you see the seals there. Well, this is the speaker. All these things are covered in this like clear coating, and I don't know how well that comes across on camera, but they're all kind of covered. So in return, you have the speakerphone on here, which is, when you're playing music, is very muffled. It's just different. It's different. So I'm gonna play a little clip here to show you. Okay, so on camera, you might say, wow, that's loud. And I agree, it is loud. But 2 things are happening here. That's the peak volume, and then it's muffled. And then the next thing is the phone is vibrating like crazy in your hand. So, and it's because the speaker is covered with like this clear coating or whatever. And because if you dump it in water, so the speaker doesn't get wet, you know the drill. But it has a very bad vibration on the device. It's just weird, man. So you can't really hold it. It gets uncomfortable to hold after a while is what I'm getting at. So, that's kind of a drawback for me. How often do you hold your phone while you're listening to music? Well, sometimes I put headphones in and I listen to music while I'm surfing the web or something. Who knows what I'm doing? But those are just a few of the things that I found that I disliked. Not disliked, they just weren't on par with other devices in the same price range. But let's get to the pluses. The first plus, obviously, is I can dump this phone in some water, pick it up, dry it off, and it's good. I can't do that with this one, and I can't do that with any of the other phones I have. The one I'm recording with, the 635, I can't do it with that. If you dunk them in water for 30 minutes, they're gone. They're going to be dead, and there's no coming back. So with this having the IP57 certification, hands down, that's a good thing. It's already built in a rugged package, so all these things, they all play a part. It looks good too. It's a very sharp looking device, and obviously I think it looks much better than the Lumia, LG L90. The LG L90 is slippery. It's a fingerprint magnet. I love the texture back and just a little bit of highlights around the edges. I love the two-tone, the pieces. I just think this is a great looking device, and I think that's a huge plus on top of it being waterproof, drop proof, and all these kind of things. Dust proof, whatever you want to call it. It's all there. You won't have a problem if you do this with this phone. The next thing that I think is very nice about this phone, it uses something called, now I didn't notice this when I did the unboxing, or I would have talked about it. As you can see, there's no speaker grill up here. That's because this phone uses Smart Sonic receiver. I had no clue, and I got my first call on it, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? Basically, the entire screen is how the sound is projected to you. And if you've never talked on a phone that has Smart Sonic receiver, it's a unique experience. You know that you're talking on a phone where the entire screen is the receiver. It's crazy. Obviously I can't demo that for you because you need to use the phone. But if you're thinking about picking this phone up, I think you'll love that feature. Speakerphone on this device, I actually use it for speakerphone, and it didn't matter which way I put the phone down, it was a balanced sound. It was really nice. I was like, wow, that's weird. This is different. Like, this phone has a speaker on the back, in my Nokia. Most phones have the speakers on the back. With this one, it really doesn't matter. The sound coming out of there is for that music, but when you're talking on the cell phone and making a call, this entire thing turns into a speaker. I just think that's a fantastic technology, and it's also going to be on the new Sharp Aquos Crystal that comes out Friday, and I so plan on picking that up. I got to have that phone. Anyway, that technology is going to be on that one too. I think that's a sweet technology, and the only way I could tell you is you just have to experience for yourself. There's no other way to put it. I can't describe it to you. Making phone calls on this device is so different, man. You just have to see for yourself. It's a unique feature. Call quality was great, like I just said. Web browsing, everything is good. There's not a lot with the web browser. It's just a web browser. Android is optimized the way it's optimized, and depending on your network, you'll get the speed you get, and the web browsing experience is what you get. It can get the job done while you're sitting around your house, or just if you're going to use this for your daily device. It's a good daily device. It could definitely be done. It's got a 4.5-inch display. Let's see, it weighs about 136 grams, which is just great. It runs 4.3, and I think it's a device. It's about 10 millimeters, and I think that's a good size for a device like this, and for it to have all the certifications and things like that. I think that's about where it should be. That's 10 millimeters is good because you have to take into consideration how they're going to protect the device and everything. It's pretty much a stock Android experience. It's a fast quad-core processor in here, so you're getting it. While I'm here, I want to show you how this phone moves icons to the desktop. And obviously there's other devices. There's only one that I know of, which is HTC, that has done this before. But this is how you do it. You have to long press, wait for it to load up, drag it up here, don't let it go, then drop it down here. I think that is the most annoying way to move icons to the home page. Very frustrating, but you know what? I just don't do it. I just don't even bother. I was like, I'm not even gonna bother doing this all the time. I'll just go to the app tray and open up the application, because that's a little frustrating to me. A little frustrating. So it has this economy mode. You turn this on, and it kind of it's like a power saving mode. And obviously you can see here, you have the options to enable things that you want to happen during this setting. So I think that's really nice. You can set the percentage wherever you want it at. 20% is a good thing to have it at. And this will help give you a little bit more battery life. And when you turn it on, let me turn off auto and turn it on, it actually shuts down, gives you a black wallpaper. I think it's really cool. And this wallpaper isn't a new wallpaper. This is kind of it's that liquid wallpaper that I've seen on I forgot which other device I have. My LG. I've seen this on, so that's a pretty sweet feature where it turns on and turns on the economy mode. It shuts everything down too, man. I mean, you can still turn on your background data and all that stuff if you want to, but that's a pretty neat feature. Because I think all phones now have some kind of power saving mode, and this phone's no exception. So overall rating for this, with the exception of the three things that I didn't like, it's an Android device, man. I mean, it's a good looking device. It's definitely has more options than I can dump this in water and it'll still work. I can't do that with any other phone I have right now. So I think it's nice. Overall rating I give it, I do recommend this phone, by the way. Before I give the rating, I do recommend this phone. And now you might get the phone and say, well, the camera's good enough for me, because I've had phones where people said the camera was crappy and I liked it. I thought it was enough. But what are you doing with your cell phone? Like, seriously, you shouldn't do too much with your camera. You shouldn't buy a phone for the camera, but nonetheless, that's your choice. But I give this phone about a 8.5, and I just basically took 0.5 off for the three things I didn't like. Or not didn't like, I should say, but that didn't perform as well as some other devices that are in the same price range. But this one might not have the highest rating. 8.5 is good. It didn't get a 10 from me, but at the same time, I'd recommend this over the L90 because the battery life is probably about the same. But with this, you get, and I know the L90 records in 1080p and this one records in 720p, but still, those things aren't that important when it boils down to it, because the thing that takes this one over the top over the L90 to me is the IPS certification. It's just, that's a huge plus for a $120 Android phone. Now I know the L90 is $99 now, and you can also get it for $79 if you log into your account for a recertified one. But $124 straight out for an IPS certified device, I think that's damn good. So I will see you guys in the next one. This is my full review of the Kyocera Hydro Life on T-Mobile. Take care, guys.